I'll start you off with the easy one, Ravenholdt. Ravenholdt is a neutral faction of rogues based in Alterac Mountains that are the sworn enemies of the Syndicate. And the Syndicate are found at various points in the Eastern Kingdoms. You will need to kill 4,200 of them, at 5 rep each, to take you from neutral to 1 rep off revered. At this point, you will stop receiving rep from kills and you'll need to start handing in the repeatable quest for 5 heavy junk boxes, and I have some bad news for you. If you aren't a rogue, you're going to have to get one, because you will have to pickpocket 1,405 junk boxes. This is Farhad. You'll get to know him pretty well over the next couple of weeks. The reason why I have put this one in the easy spot is because it doesn't require running level 60 dungeons over and over. The mobs that you will pickpocket need to be humanoid and leveled 50 to 60 and can be found at any endgame classic zone. And to top it all off, there is no other reason to do this except this achievement, or to just to have one more extra rep on your way to 50 exalted reps. Our second part of this achievement is to be honoured with the Bloodsail Buccaneers, then exalted with the Steamwheeld Cartel, which would be simple if killing or doing quests for one didn't mean being hated by the other. Back in my day when I attempted this, all I had to do was become honoured with the Bloodsails once and then done. Then you could drop the rep and farm out the Goblin reps, which was a lot easier, but I'm afraid to mislead you, because I don't know exactly how this achievement will work in game, so I will tell you how to keep both happy. Step 1 is to kill the Booty Bay residents until you are friendly with the Bloodsail Buccaneers, and hated by Booty Bay. You can do this by going to war with Booty Bay. If you don't know how to go to war with a faction, it's in the reputations panel. And you can and now will slaughter the innocent and the weak until you are friendly with the Bloodsail Buccaneers and hated by Booty Bay. Now that's done, you can go to Pretty Boy Duncan and start the 2 Bloodsail quests that have you kill the leaders of Booty Bay to get your Bloodsail Admiral's hat. Yarr! Then farm the rest of the Booty Bay until you are honoured. There are very few ways to keep your Bloodsail rep and gain rep with the Steamwheeld Cartel, and it is these 3 repeatable quests in Feralus. One is on the shoreline, where you can farm out giants for 5 rep each. Or you can head to Darkmoon, where there are 2 repeatable quests per run, Free Knot and Gordok Ogre Suit. The first will require a key from the unique guard mobs to let Knot out. This gives 350 rep each time. Both quests are in Darkmoon North with Knot the Goblin, and you will want to be able to open the doors locked with the Crescent Key, so then you'll have to head into Darkmoon East and kill the Imp. Don't worry if you can't complete a run on your own, you'll have an easier time during Wrath. Or you could just grab a friend to help you. The second quest will require you to make the Gordok Ogre Suit, which needs Ogre Tannin from inside a basket that spawns a mini-boss. 4 bolts of rune cloth, 8 rugged leather, 2 rune thread, and Ogre Tannin. This will give you 75 rep, for a total of 425 rep per run, meaning if you are maximum hated, then you would need to do this 198 times, and will require 792 bolts of rune cloth, 1,584 rugged leather,
you're in trouble now,
and 396 rune thread. Or you can save yourself the materials and run it 240 times, only freeing Knot, then leaving and resetting. And since we're in Darkmoon, let's talk about the Shen'dralar. Cataclysm brought about some changes to the Bloodsail rep and removed the Shen'dralar completely from the game and from this achievement's requirements. I don't see a reason why they would change the rep requirements to differ from the original Wrath achievement, so it's safe to say it's here to stay. But come Cataclassic, if we get one, there will be a feat of strength for people who became exalted with the Shen'dralar before they were removed. So another freebie, what a bargain! If you are Alliance, in order for you to start gaining reputation with the Shen'dralar, you first have to complete the required introductory quest. Horde players can start straight away, but start off with less total rep. To get to Exalted with the Shen'dralar, then you'll need to hand in Librams. The class 1s are a drop from the Darkmoon dungeon, but you can only hand them in once, and they give 500 rep. The others are repeatable, but each is unique, and will give 500 rep each. They also drop from the dungeon or bought from the auction house, but will require extra regions, which can also be bought or found. The Librum of Focus can be most likely found on ghosts, and the quest also requires a pristine black diamond, which can be found in the dungeon. 4 large brilliant shards, which are disenchanted from blue items around this level, and 2 Skin of Shadow that drop from mobs in Scholarmance. Next is the Librum of Protection. It is mostly found on ogres. It only needs 2 shards and Afraid Abomination stitching. Those are from, you guessed it, Abominations in Stratholme. The Librum of Rapidity. What a relevant name in this situation. Can be found most likely on Warpwood treants of all kinds. It needs a black diamond, a large brilliant shard, and the blood of heroes, which is found on the ground in the Eastern Plaguelands, but when picking it up, will spawn 2 elite mobs that will harass you for being disrespectful to your veterans. Each of these will give 500 rep, and if you're starting from neutral, that means 42,000 divided by 500 is 84 quest turn-ins. But what do we do about the Librums being unique? Well, you have 2 options. If you have a portable mailbox, then you can have the items sent to you and then place the portable mailbox next to the quest giver so that you can access them. Or you can collect all of the regions first, then go to Dire Maul and farm the Librums and hand them in as you go. The Shen'dralar could require a full clear of Dire Maul to farm Librum, and the Goblin is only a small part, so you could try doing both the Shen'dralar and the Steamwheel at the same time. This will work for a bit, and once you become exalted from handing in the Librums, you can do the runs just to free not. Now we're on the last leg of the journey. The Darkmoon Fair comes the first Sunday of every month, and is located at either Mulgore, Elwyn Forest, or Terakar Forest in Outlands. The first step in the grind is to achieve 2,250 friendly by completing the profession turn-in quests. For level requirement reasons, I am assuming you are max level and have no rep with the Darkmoon Fair. Which set of repeatable quests you have available to you will depend on your current reputation with the Darkmoon Fair. Tier 1 quests are between 0, neutral, and 500 rep. Tier 2 is up to 1,100, Tier 3 is up to 1,700, and Tier 4 is up to 2,500 neutral rep. And finally, Tier 5 is up to 2,250 friendly rep. Regardless of tier, each quest will give you 250 rep. We can start by completing quests for these 4 Carney NPCs. They are Yeb Nebelgear, Kerry Hicks, Rinling, and Kronos, he who never forgets. Now, the issue is that I could list off each of these quests tier by tier, mat by mat, and let you decide which one you would want to do. And I will give you all the quest givers and their quests in the video, but there are so many that I had to make it simple. I have added up the cost of materials on my server, trade goods and profession tips not included. And I was very surprised the cheapest materials to buy are the animal parts. But before you pause the video and go running to the auction house, there was about a quarter of the required vibrant plumes, less than a third of the soft bushy tails, and only 1 torn bear pelt on the entire auction house. Which isn't really a surprise because they are completely worthless otherwise. But this is the most populated Alliance server in my region, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy 10 bushy tails, 90 medium leather, 18 cured light hide, 72 iron bars, and I'm going to buy the vibrant plumes over time, then 352 dense stone. We then turn the items into the crafted items we need and hand them all in. Real quick before I move on, you can do this any way you like. If you know how to, you can access this spreadsheet through the link in the description and download it from my Google Sheets. I left engineering out because the green fireworks and Thorum widgets, the patterns are not exactly hard to find, but not everyone will have them, so easy DQ. Here are the NPCs and their quests and how many turn-ins you need to reach max rep from their tier. From now till Exalted, the only way to get Darkmoon Fair rep is to hand in decks of cards. Each deck will get you 350 rep and an epic trinket, which would be okay if the trinket was bind on equip, but it's not. To get from 2250 friendly to exalted, you need to hand in 104 decks of cards. There are 8 different decks, 4 from each expansion, and each has 8 cards, Ace through 8. Here's the catch, Ace cards are rare drops from dungeon bosses in that expansion, and the rest are from random world drops in that expansion. That means that you are limited to what ends up on the auction house, and oh boy they aren't cheap. Because you need 7 world drops to make one deck. They are incredibly rare. But don't worry, in Wrath we get Inscription, and Inscribers, they are able to make deck cards, which will bring down the price of decks significantly by flooding the market. That is why you will have to wait for Wrath Classic to finish this off. I suggest you put that rogue that you leveled to good use, and level its Inscription to 275. If this has got you interested in Inscription, then I have a how to level Inscription Day 1 Wrath Classic video already up for you to watch. Now it's down to RNG, and you will want to go to the lowest cost option between the Darkmoon decks. The level to 60 to 70 decks will probably be a good option because the low demand for the trinkets, but everyone will be going for their level 80 trinket, so there will be high prices. You can buy the cheapest cards you can find and try to make decks. This is good for when you're trying to finish off the last few decks, but won't be as good as buying the materials and making the cards yourself. Because you need 104 of them, remember? So even if you make a completely random card, it will still be useful in the long run. And as you approach the last few decks, swap to buying only what cards you need from the auction house to use up all the duplicate cards that you have created. After all this, you have farmed out 1,000 heavy junk boxes, killed countless gang members, ogres, goblins, goblin wives, goblin children, all for that drip. Has your brain turned to mush yet?
Dogs don't belong on the bed, Sharon.
I know, but I can't keep them off my bed. It's the fucking house.
You have to get rid of that mattress because they'll breed in the mattress.
It's the mattress and that sofa.
That sofa's got to be burnt.
Burnt at the stake like a witch.
Sacrificial. That's we have Friday night sacrifice to the gods. What the fuck am I talking about?
If so, leave a comment, hit that like button and sub, and tell me how badly I got this all wrong. And I'll see you in the next video.